Hi, and welcome back to our channel. Let me just get my life together for a minute. My name is Raylan. If you are new here, I am Raylan Murphy. My husband is Micah Murphy. He is not here today. It's gonna just be me. He's actually at work. I'm going to just take you guys with me this morning. I'm not doing much. I'm just gonna go make some tea and then have a little sit-down conversation with you guys about boundaries in dating. I think when I title it like 5 practical boundaries in dating, like just 5 things that you need to be aware of, that you need to implement in your boundaries. I'm just gonna go make some tea. It's Monday morning. I'm tired on Mondays, a little sleepy. Sundays are a long day for us, and we had a night of worship last night, which went super well. But I've just had a slow morning, and I'm gonna go make some tea for my throat and then sit down and just have a little chat with you guys. So I can't wait. I feel like it's been a minute since, well, we didn't post last week, and that is because we were out of town the whole week after Christmas, and then we got back late Sunday night, and we did not, let me turn the air off real quick because that is gonna get annoying. We got back late Sunday night, and we did not vlog or video anything while we were out of town because we were just being intentional with family and spending time with friends. And then we had the conference that we were at on New Year's weekend, and so it was just a crazy time, and we did not film anything. And then we got back late Sunday night, and then Monday, yeah, we weren't gonna be able to film anything or get it out. So that's probably why it feels like it's been a second since we've done this, but we're back and it's the new year, and we're excited for everything that the Lord has in store for this year. And we have many goals and plans and things that we want to accomplish in 2023. And maybe after this video, maybe this next weekend, next week we can record a video, Micah and I, just kind of talking about some of our plans and goals for 2023. I wouldn't want to do that without him, so you don't get that video today. But I missed you guys, and I'm glad that we're back, and I'm excited to start this new year. It's gonna be awesome. I'm coming. I'm trying to be really careful because I have tea in this, and I have white sheets and a white comforter that I'm trying not to get the tea on. So anyway, so if you don't know me, like if you're new here, you're gonna quickly realize that boundaries in dating, boundaries in engagement, whatever the case may be in your relationship, is very important to me. My husband and I, if you are new here, like I said, if you don't know, our first kiss was on our wedding day. That was something that the Lord had spoken to me about years prior to meeting Micah, and it just like took me on this journey of obedience. And just, you know, he had a conversation with me about if this was something I was willing to do, if I was willing to wait until the wedding day. Then he would honor that, he would honor our relationship, and he would use it to encourage other girls who need to realize that that's a standard that is possible and a standard that the Lord can call you to live to. And I think especially in today's culture, in today's world, where girls long for physical acceptance and approval from men, I think it's really important to say, you know what? I'm gonna allow the Lord to fulfill those desires of my heart until he gives me my husband, and until we are man and wife and can enjoy those things together. And so that was just something that I was and still am extremely passionate about, because I feel like the Lord allowed me to walk through that and allowed me to live out that testimony so that I could be in this position encouraging other girls and people to do so. The first thing that I would tell you guys is that this is like really good. I'm not a big tea drinker. I only normally drink tea like if my throat is sore, but this is really good. I'm a big coffee girl, so anyway. The first thing that I would tell you is that you have got to state the boundaries in the relationship early. This little piece of advice is essential because you have to, okay? You cannot wait until you've fallen into sin to say, you know what? We need to set some boundaries here, okay? Because then what? It's not too late, but now you've crossed those lines, and it's much harder to go back once you've crossed the line than to just upfront say, you know what? This is the boundary line and we're not gonna cross it. It's just, we're not gonna cross it. These are the boundaries up front. And if you were to ask me, then I would say that the man does need to lead that conversation. And if it's the one you're supposed to be with, he probably will take initiative and lead that conversation. But you know what, if you as the woman have to be the first to bring it up, I would rather you bring it up than it not be brought up at all, and then you guys find yourself in a situation that's very hard to recover from in the future. The second thing I would say that's also very vital, very essential, is that you have got to have accountability in your relationship. Okay? And I'm not just talking about your best friend who's also in dating relationships, who's also in the same season of life as you. I am talking about someone where the thought of you having to tell this person that you guys slipped up last night literally makes you want to poop your pants. To be real. Like, your accountability partner should be someone that knows all of the boundaries that you and your boyfriend / girlfriend have put into place. They should be aware of all of those boundaries so that they can hold you accountable to those boundaries. And they should be someone that is going to check up in on you. They're going to make sure on a consistent basis that you're not falling into the temptation. This should be someone that has a very active role in your guys' relationship. This shouldn't be someone that doesn't do life with you guys, that doesn't see you guys on a regular basis, because that defeats the entire purpose. You could get away with way more than you're supposed to get away with if your accountability partner is across the country or in a different state and they can't actually hold you accountable. And I would just pray and seek the Lord on who this person needs to be. It needs to be someone you trust. It needs to be someone you love. It needs to be someone that you know is going to hold you accountable. Number 3, just like a super practical boundary, is don't be with each other late at night in the car by yourself, anywhere secluded, just you and the other person late at night, or really like any time of day that's going to get you guys in trouble. Like, the lighting's changing, so I'm sorry. Just basically the point is, don't put yourself in situations that is going to get you in trouble. If you know that being together past, like one of Micah and I's rules was like, we don't want to be, it feels so good on my throat, like you guys don't even understand. We weren't going to be alone with each other past 10 o'clock at night in the car on the way home, or doing something together alone where nobody is around to hold us accountable. Why? Was it because we didn't trust each other? No, it's because the enemy wants to find you in those positions. Like, he's waiting for you to be in those positions so he can tempt you and so he can make it even harder for you. Like, the enemy knows that waiting until marriage and living according to these boundaries and these standards is something that you and your significant other have committed to, and he wants to be the first one to make you fall short in those boundaries. And so you, as a human, as an individual, as a couple, have to be responsible enough to say, you know what, we're not going to be alone together past this time of night in the car or anywhere that's secluded, just you and the other person. When you love the other person, being alone together past a certain hour at night, you're young, you're in love, you have these emotions, you have these hormones, you have these feelings. You want to kiss the other person's face off, okay? You want to be in love and physical and together, okay? It's not abnormal for you to have those feelings. Did we have those feelings and emotions? Yes, but that's why you cannot put yourself in positions that is going to set you up for failure. You can't be alone together at midnight in the car and then be angry at God when you fall into sin and do something with the other person that you did not need to do before you got married, okay? Like, you have to be responsible enough and use wisdom when it comes to these things. Like, you have to do your part of the bargain, okay? God isn't going to come and sit between you guys. That just made me weak because I'm just envisioning him, you know? He's not going to come and break you guys up from making out in the car at midnight, you know? Like, you've done put yourself in that position. He's given you the proper means to not have to put yourself in that position. I mean, go hang out with friends, hang out in groups. And I'm not saying don't go on dates. We went on dates our entire dating and engaged relationship, but we just didn't do it where it would put ourselves in positions that would cause us to get in trouble. When I say get in trouble, I don't mean get in trouble by our parents or get in trouble by who. I mean get in trouble by we've done something that we know the Lord has not asked us to do. And when you fear God more than you fear man, you're going to want to live by the standard that God has called you to live by. And I could get on that whole rant of how the Lord is going to restore the fear of the Lord to our generation, but that is something, when you fear God, when you fear going against what his Bible commands of you, then you will not put yourself in position to break what he's asked us to do, to break the call that he has put on our lives. And that is not even a boundary conversation, but it could be, and I could go down that rabbit hole, but I will not. I might, but I'm gonna try to not. Okay, so the next one is to stay as far from the boundary line as possible. I think sometimes when we make boundaries in relationships, or honestly boundaries in any area of our life, we're like, okay, we're setting these because we know we can get close to it. We just can't go over it, or we can't cross the boundary line, but we can get close, you know? And to me, like, I just want to completely destroy that mindset, because you just can't live like that. And we oftentimes think that the Lord gives us boundaries, gives us parameters because he's trying to restrict us, when in reality, he's giving us boundaries, he's putting up parameters because he's trying to protect us. And the further we stay away from the boundary lines, the easier it is to live in the fullness of joy, the fullness of peace, the fullness of love that the Lord has intended us to live in. Because if we're constantly on the edge of the boundary line, we're constantly living in this thing of it's like anguish, like, oh, why can't I cross this? Like, I'm this close, and it's almost like that's not even the point. Like, you've set these boundaries and you're doing it, but you're not really doing it with the right heart. The closer you get to that boundary line, the harder it's going to be to not cross the boundary. Why not just say, you know what, this is the boundaries we've set, we're definitely not crossing them, but how about we don't even get close? We shouldn't have to constantly be worrying about messing up. We shouldn't have to constantly be focused on, we cannot cross this line, we cannot cross this line. If you're not putting yourself in positions to even get close to messing up, then you have nothing to worry about. And number 5, and something that seems, you know, whatever, but actually really, really, really helps. And if you're in the process of the dating relationship, and if you're engaged and you're waiting and you're saving yourself for marriage, then you know that this helps. But it's to keep your eyes on the end goal, to keep your perspective on the why. Why are you saving yourself? Why do we have these boundaries? And ultimately, it's to be in right standing with God. It's to know that you are following his commandments. It's to know that this is what he's asked of you. He's asked you to flee from sexual sin. He's asked you to abstain from sexual things until you are man and wife, until you are married. The Lord has asked you to do these things. And so if every morning you wake up and you remind yourself, you know, I'm in this relationship, and we are honoring the Lord by waiting and saving every part of our physical love until we get married. This little amount of time that you are dating, that you are engaged, is just that. It is just a little amount of time compared to the lifetime that you are going to spend with your husband. There is nothing like getting to your wedding night and being like, oh my goodness, like, yes, in the moment, in the process, in the dating, in the engagement, we thought it was so hard. We just felt like the end was so far from us. But then when we got to that night, we were like, this is the moment that the Lord has promised for us. And since we endured the waiting, since we were faithful to wait, since we were faithful in the journey and faithful in the process and faithful in doing what the Lord had asked us to do, now we get to spend this moment on our wedding night in confidence that the Lord is going to honor our marriage, honor our relationship, bless and have his hand on our marriage because we honored him first. As you are in your process, as you are in your dating relationship, to keep your eyes and your mind set on the end goal and knowing that you and your person will have that moment at the end of the dating and engagement process makes it worth it. Like, you look back, like looking back now, almost 7 months into marriage, and being like, oh, the days that we thought were so hard, the days that we thought we would never be married, we would never, like, that just seems like a fleeting, distant memory compared to the life that we now have with each other, the life that the Lord has blessed, the life that the Lord's hand is on because we chose to honor him. I don't know if these were super practical goals. It kind of got to more like spiritual than practical, but I mean, it's the same thing to me. Those are just 5 things that if you are in the dating process, if you are engaged, if you are, single, whatever the case may be, I just pray that these tips just help you and that the Lord is with you in whatever process that you are in. I'm praying that he gives you the strength and the endurance to walk this out. I'm just praying that you have strength on the journey, strength in the process, strength to say no to the things that sound good in temporary moments, because one day you will get to enjoy every physical part of your person. You will get to enjoy the physical aspect of the relationship, and you'll get to do it in the confines of marriage, inside of the marriage covenant. When you do these things inside of the marriage covenant, the Lord blesses you in abundance, and it's worth it. To have his blessing on your life should be worth it no matter the cost. I love you today. I'm so glad that you stuck around and watched this video. I hope it encouraged you and blessed you in some way. Go ahead and like this video, comment down below the videos that you would like to see in the future topics that you would like Micah and I to talk about, future videos that you would like to see, and go ahead and subscribe to our channel. We look forward to growing with you guys this year. We look forward to just all the happy things that the Lord has in store. Who knows what's going to happen this year? And so we just look forward to doing it with you guys, doing life with you guys, sharing our life from our perspective with you guys. I love you guys, and we will see you next week. Just in time for the plane to come by.